Dear students, I have already taught you simple present tense, and another thing is that I have taught you what you have to use in simple present tense. Today, I am going to teach you when you have the need to use simple present tense in writing and speaking skills. First point is that it is used to express an action that takes place at the present moment. Whenever any action that takes place at the present moment, then you have to use simple present tense. Examples are given here. First example is in this way: she reads a book, she sings a song, see how it rains. In all these sentences, action takes place at the present moment, so sentences are written in the simple present tense. Another point is that an action that shows a habit. Whenever there is any habit of a person, then we have to use simple present tense. Example is given here: he rises early in the morning. It means that he never rises late in the morning, so we have to use simple present tense. This sentence shows us the habit of a person, so we have written this sentence in the simple present tense. He rises early in the morning. There are so many examples of habits. For instance, another example of this is that habit of example of habit: he takes exercise daily. In this sentence, we can say it is a habit of a person, he takes exercise daily. So we have to use here simple present tense. Whenever there is a universal truth or a maxim, what are the universal truth? Which are not made by us. Universal truths are those which are made by nature or by God. Example is here: the sun rises in the east. Here is a universal truth, so I have used here simple present tense. And what is a maxim? Maxim is a general truth. It is approved by human beings or proverbial phrases. And here example is in this way: hard work pays in the long run. It is proved. Whenever a person works hard, he gets reward. So we have to use here simple present tense. Another point is that whenever there is a future planned event which is already arranged, then we have to use simple present tense. Example is in this way: I go to Mumbai next week. You are surprised. Next week is about the future time. But I have used here simple present tense because our future planning is fact. We have planned for the future. So we have to write I go to Mumbai next week. When there is no planning about the future, then we can write in this way: I shall go to Mumbai next week. Whenever there is well planned of about future event, then we have to use simple present tense: I go to Mumbai next week. Next example is this: his marriage comes off next week. Here is a planning. It is well arranged or it is already arranged, so we have to use here simple present tense. Next point is that a past event, in order to make description more real and graphic. What is that? To make real or graphic. Example is here: Alexander brings a large army to attack India. This is the activity of the past. This is the event of the past. But in this example, simple present tense is used. Why? Because in order to make this sentence more real and graphic, in order to make past event more and real graphic. So we have used here simple present tense. Next point is this: whenever there is a running commentary of events and they are actually happening. Whenever there are running commentary of events and they are actually happening, then we have to use simple present tense. Example is here: Virat Kohli comes forward now and hits the ball. What is here? Hits the ball. So we have to use here simple present tense. Next point is that to summarize the play or story. Whenever we have to summarize a play or a story, you have to mind one thing in your mind, that you have to use simple present tense. For instance, the scene opens and the main character appears on the stage. Play was taken place in the past time, but whenever we have to summarize it, or then you have to use simple present tense. Next point is that in subordinate class, when the main class is in future, when you have to use simple present tense in subordinate class and main class is in the future. In this sentence, main class is I shall not spare him. This is the main class. But in subordinate class, we have to use simple present tense. And how can you know this sentence is written in the simple present tense and this is written in the future tense? Because this sentence is in the complex sentence, and in the next lectures I will also teach you what are the complex sentences, compound sentences and simple sentences. But here you can understand this subordinate class is reason behind this is that because there is a use of subordinating conjunction. So this is a subordinating class and this is the main class. Whenever subordinating class is in present tense and main class is in the future tense, then you have to use simple present tense in the subordinating class. In conditional classes, when main class is in the future time, whenever sentences are started with if, you can very easily understand there are conditions in your sentences. Whenever there is a condition in the subordinate class, then in the main class there would be a what? Future tense. Then you have to use simple present tense. Another example of this: if you work hard, you will pass. In this sentence, what is the condition in this part? Subordinate class. Condition is this: if you work hard. How can we understand there is a condition? Because if subordinating conjunction is used. So when subordinating conjunction if is used in your subordinating class, then you have to use here simple present tense, and in the main class there is a use of future tense. You should mind one thing in your knowledge: whenever sentence starts with if, then you have to use simple present tense, and in the next part, that is a main class, you have to use future tense. One point I also want to tell you, sometimes sentence starts with if, and in both parts simple present tense is used. I am going to write one example. If you heat wax, it melts. You will be surprised to see in this sentence, in both the parts simple present tense is used. What is used? Simple present. Here is simple present, and here is also simple present. In the above example, in one part simple present and another part is future tense. But in this sentence, in both parts, I have used simple present. You heat wax, here is a simple present. It melts, here is a simple present. When there are facts about your knowledge, when there are facts, then you have to use simple present tense. It's a fact. When you heat wax, it always melts. So you have to use in both parts, main class as well as in subordinate class, simple present tense. Whenever there may be change in your main class, then you can use future tense. But it's a factual condition, so you have to use here simple present tense in both parts, main class as well as in subordinating class. Okay, thank you. But I want to remind you again, please subscribe my channel so that you can get latest knowledge regarding your English grammar. Okay, bye bye.